All right, so I wanted to respond to the comments made by one Clarissa Shields and her response to women run boxing and some other things she said. I hope Clarissa Shields doesn't take this the wrong way, but at the end of the day, I gotta say it. One thing about me, Town Biz, I don't sugarcoat nothing, and I'm not afraid to say what other people, you know, won't say. And I will just say it because I listened to Clarissa Shields and I like Clarissa Shields a lot, but over the years I've saw a swing and a change in her demeanor where she was once universal. She's transitioned into the form of a black feminist. And I think that's dangerous for her because at the end of the day, I got to come with some facts. Clarissa Shields need to remember most of her supporters, most of her fan base are men, and primarily black men. And I understand what she was trying to say about, females fighting each other and getting in the ring, which she is absolutely unequivocally 100% correct. But I didn't like the quote that she said ending, her quote saying women run boxing, because that is not correct. But a lot of the hypocrisy you see when it comes to just society and in general, a lot of the hypocrisy primarily come from a lot of women. Women will sit up here and talk about equality and this, equality and that, but then sometimes they don't even support it themselves. They were talking about just a couple of years ago, they started this whole argument about the WNBA, about women should get equal pay as the men, which I think is laughable. Somebody had a quote or basically put up a article talking about, well, this particular NBA person versus WNBA person. Basically, they compared LeBron to, I forgot who they said had, this lady had multiple WNBA championships compared to LeBron's. How come she isn't making what LeBron is making? Well, that's easy. Well, I'll give you an example. The Atlanta WNBA team play in a stadium that only holds up to capacity 5,000 people, the venue where Adrian Broner is going to fight at the Gateway Arena. One, you're not selling jerseys. One, you're not generating billions of dollars. LeBron James generates billions of dollars for the NBA, for Nike, for all his other endorsements combined, for HBO. So that's why you shouldn't get equal pay. And it's laughable to say something like that. So you sitting up saying, you're basically saying because you're a woman, you should get equal pay as LeBron. That sounds kind of like misandry to me. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not worried about making people mad or, trying to make friends in this situation or in this business. I just say what I feel need to be said. And I remember Clarissa Shields might have got mad at me the last time I, addressed this, when she was sitting up there saying that she wanted to fight Keith Thurman. And she wanted to fight men and all that kind of stuff. And she was saying she would be interested in fighting Jake Paul, going back and forth with Jake Paul. Look, Clarissa Shields is a extraordinary boxer. But she might even could have an actual fight with Jake Paul, and she would actually outbox him for a couple of rounds. But Jake Paul can hit hard. And I think all it would take is one punch from Jake Paul and he would flatten Clarissa Shields. And he probably would hurt her very bad. And then Jake Paul, wherever it would happen, he wouldn't make it out the arena. You just got to tell the truth. And the same thing with Keith Thurman. Clarissa Shields can't beat no Keith Thurman in no fight. I wish she would stop it with that. Okay, Keith Thurman is a two-time champion. I mean, for real, two-time champion. He's held multiple belts. And yes, Clarissa Shields is undisputed, but there still is a slight difference. You're talking about power. You're talking about strength. You talking about, you know what I'm saying, women's strength versus men's strength. And keep in mind, women only fight 2-minute rounds versus 3-minute rounds. Okay? I'm just saying. It's a big difference, man. It's a huge difference. But as far as women running boxing, when she hashtagged that at the end of her, at the end of her, basically her statement, not true. Because here's the thing, and I'll say this again. Can Clarissa Shields sell out Cowboy Stadium headlining? Can she get 60,000 people at the max to pay max amount of dollars, or at least, could she get 60,000 people to come see her headline event at Cowboy Stadium without a certain amount of tickets being comped? Can she fill up even Madison Square Garden headlining her own fight in the States? I mean, can she do that on a regular basis? That's all I'm saying. I'm talking about, can she go everywhere and at least guarantee 15,000 tickets sold everywhere she fights from this point on as her being a headliner? And that's all I'm saying. I listened to the video that what Blue Blood said. Blue Blood is entitled to his opinion. And Clarissa Shields had worked hard to get where she is. But at the end of the day, sometimes she don't have to, I understand she voicing her opinion, but at the same time, I see a little bit of the you know what I'm saying, the attacks and demeaning men. And I see a lot of feminism in her. I see a lot of misandry in her. Because like I said before, if the WNBA is such a hot commodity, which everybody knows is nothing but a tax write-off for the NBA. If women want equality in sports, how come they're not filling up those arenas? How come every time it's a WNBA game in a 17, 18, 19, 20,000 seat arena, how come it's a lot of times it's barely 4,000 people there? Now, if those games were standing room only, they were selling sneakers, they were selling shoes. Like I said, I'm all about fairness. Yeah, therefore, you can make that argument. But I'm saying if you're selling 5,000-6,000 tickets, maybe 7 at the most on a good day at a stadium that holds anywhere from 20,000 people, you're not bringing in you're not raking in, and that's factual. The Lakers averaged 18,000 a game. Okay, average, and that's against a weak team. Golden State Warriors average pretty much a sellout every game. So Stephen Curry is justified in what he gets paid. And that's all I'm saying. And I just gotta keep it a buck. Now, I know some people gonna listen to this video and try to capitalize off this and make videos saying Town Biz is attacking Clarissa Shields, which I'm not. I'm just voicing my opinion. Because, you got a lot of opportunists here, and you got a lot of people, you got a lot of people that's going to try to capitalize off this, try to put on their capes and all that kind of stuff. But I'm sorry, I'm here to keep it a buck. I'm here to keep it a buck. And Clarissa been saying some stuff that I wasn't feeling. And it ain't about being sensitive. It ain't about being emotional. It's about just keeping it a buck. Just responding. You just got to tell the truth. If she get mad at what I'm saying, she the one that's being emotional. Like I said before, women ain't running no boxing. For real. I'm just keeping it a buck. As much as I like Alicia Baumgartner, could Alicia Baumgartner go into Madison Square Garden or the Staples Center or the T-Mobile Arena or the MGM Grand, headline a fight and sell anywhere from 17 to 20,000 tickets? If she can do that, then fine. Then you can start talking about the same type of money. But all this women run boxing stuff, that's just not correct, and that's just absurd. You could have just said, I'm disappointed that a lot of these men are not fighting each other and the women are kind of making them look bad, which she's right on that point. She's right, because a lot of these dudes should be getting in the ring. Unfortunately, for politics, we couldn't get the fights that we wanted to see. Alicia Baumgartner crossed over the top rank. She made the fight with Mikaela Mayer. She won the belt. She went right back to the zone. But then you get men's boxing. They don't want to make certain fights because they want certain fighters to have certain belts. Just like you have to admit, sometimes what happens is, what was going on with Errol Spence saying that he was going to take the easy route. See, and this is where Errol Spence fans get mad, because I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. They don't want to hear the truth, but I'm about to say this. Reason why he meant the easy route, another reason why, because most of those belts that he went after, they were by PBC fighters. See, if he fights Crawford and Crawford takes his belt, then to a certain degree, you can't use that as negotiating power. So all that stuff about belts and stuff, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to get all the belts, take the easy route, was basically, I'm not going to fight you and I lose. And then you get two, at the time, you have 3 belts, because that was the whole idea for PBC to keep circulating the belts within the PBC organization. See, a lot of people don't want to have these conversations. They don't want to have real conversation, and they don't want to talk about this kind of stuff. But I'm just keeping it a buck. And like I said, I'm going to say this again. I don't care about you dudes being mad at me, especially you big fish fans. Like I said, I'm not from Dallas, so I don't have no obligation to Dallas to sit up there and be an Errol Spence fanboy or a fanatic. I'm from California, and I'm sorry that some dudes don't like it, and I'm not dissing Dallas, but I'm just telling the truth. I don't have no obligation to be a Spence fanboy, and ain't nobody gonna make me be one. And like I said before, if you got a problem with that, that's your problem, not mine. So I'm just saying, that's the cap. That's the cap. But getting back to Clarissa Shields, getting back to her, the dynamics of her, Clarissa Shields, when she first came out of the Olympics, everybody was rooting for her. Everybody was supporting her. But over the years, I just started seeing Clarissa Shields, and particularly sneak diss and attack the brothers, her main supporters. Black men have been Clarissa Shields' primary supporters. I don't see the stands filled up with women when Clarissa Shields fight. Most of Clarissa Shields supporters are men, and in particularly black men. The black men in the community have rolled for Clarissa Shields. When Steve Kim was saying all that suspect stuff about her, people got on Steve Kim. And I got on Steve Kim. I rolled for Clarissa Shields. But then I started seeing, I don't know who Clarissa Shields is being advised by, but I'm asking Clarissa Shields, don't fall into that feminist BS. Don't get caught up in that to where you start alienating your fan base. Your fan base, whether you like it or not, is primarily men, and particularly black men. So you don't have to constantly attack black men to build up your brand or build women's boxing up at the expense of black men. Don't we have enough people doing that to black men? That's all I'm saying. Don't we got enough of that going on? Do we need that from you? And I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm just keeping it a buck. If Clarissa Shields hear this and she decides she won't talk to me anymore, so be it. If she won't ever do an interview with me, she called me out, so be it. Clarissa Shields is more than welcome to come on here. But this stuff about women running boxing, that is completely false with a capital F. Women ain't even fighting 3-minute rounds, something that I'm pushing for. You want equality, you got to start fighting 3-minute rounds. You got to start proving that you can headline fights, be the headliner, and that you can get 13, 14, 15, 16,000 people, even with a mediocre card. If you could do that on a consistent basis, then there you have it. Then my mouth is shut. My lips are sealed. But at the end of the day, I am going to respond when I see you in particularly taking shots at men, in particularly sneak dissing black men. Your biggest supporters. But this is the history of our community, black women, and particularly doing the white man's work, exercising white supremacy through their vocal cords for everybody to see it. Everybody knows if you a black person, if you're non-black, or if you are a black woman, if you're a black man that constantly disrespect and diss black men, that's a way to elevate your stature. Because we all know in most cases, everybody is against the black man, whether you like it or not. We can sit up there and talk about protect black women all you want. Shoot, who in the hell protecting us? Everybody is coming after us. Look how everybody is coming after black men over that passport bro stuff. Like I say, black men can't do nothing without getting scrutinized. It may take one or two incidents and then the whole race of men is categorized. We always judged as a group instead of an individual. White men can do whatever they want and they judged as an individual. But then when you judge them as a whole, they say, hey, let's not make this about race. But they always make it with race about us. So I'm sorry that... So I'm sorry. Like I said, I like Clarissa Shields, but at the end of the day, these constant attacks and sneak disses that she's doing towards, and particularly the brothers, that ain't sitting too well with me, and I'm gonna call it out. And she could run to a certain YouTuber all she want, and he could. I'm just saying. And Clarissa, you know what I'm saying. You are more than welcome to come on here. You are more than welcome to come on here and have a discussion with me. Not a debate, just a discussion. You could tell me how you feel and I'll tell you how I feel. But at the end of the day, you don't have to constantly keep, like, you know what I'm saying, sneak dissing black men. Because at the end of the day, from your own words, for the most part, you had your father around. Okay? And this is the thing, like I said, that constantly bothers me about black women. Like I said, I hold black men accountable. Anybody that's been a long time listener of my channel, I call black men out when they need to be called out. But the problem is, I notice black women disappear when I call them out. They always come on here when I call out a black man, but they seem to disappear. The only one that's constantly on here is Nettie and a few other people. But Nettie is always on here. And shout out to that sister and Michelle's daughter. They always on here. They always on here. But yeah, Clarissa Shields, she need to tone that down a little bit. Y'all have to say women, for real. She's starting to become, I'm just going to keep it a buck. Clarissa Shields starting to become the Cynthia G of boxing. And that's just real talk. And that's not, and I don't mean that in a kind way neither. And for those who know who Cynthia G is, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Women don't run no boxing. Women don't run no boxing whatsoever. It's not even close. Now, please don't cancel me. I hope I don't get canceled. Please don't cancel me, Clarissa. I don't want to get canceled. I don't want the feminists coming after me who don't support female boxing anyway. Who don't support the WNBA. They'll say they want to holler about changes that should get made, but they don't support the product themselves. The hypocrisy with these feminist groups. I dare anybody to go to a I'll put it to you this way. When the WNBA season starts, I want anybody. I will pay you to go to a WNBA game and film how many people show up at a WNBA game. If that venue or that particular game got more than 10,000 people, I'll give you $100. And I can tell you right now, that ain't. I can tell you, I'm gonna save $100. I'll promise you that. I promise you, I'm gonna save $100. I'm just keeping it a buck. These women talk about equality in sports and all that kind of stuff, but then they don't take their butts to the games they damn self. But then they sitting up talking about equality. I'm talking about the hypocrisy. I'm talking about the hypocrisy and the audacity that comes out of their mouths, out of their vocal cords, and the lies. Y'all know I didn't covered it. I didn't covered so many fights. I done been to fights in New York. I done been to fights in Las Vegas. I done been to fights in Los Angeles. I done been to fights in Jersey. I can tell you right now, it may be the percentage of women that come to live boxing events probably may be less than 10%. You'll see some spread it around, but being a vast majority, I don't think so. I don't think so. Done it way too many times. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I don't know who sponsors Clarissa Shields, but at the end of the day, that's still a form of selling out where you attack. But that's what I'm saying. To reach a certain plateau, like I said, the quick way to elevation in status or stature is to attack black men. Like all these non-blacks coming on TikTok and YouTube attacking passport bros to get views. I wish black men understood their value, because everybody else seemed to understand how much value black men add to society. Like I said, we make everybody rich except each other. And when we stop, like I said, when black men stop feeling like they have to explain everything to everybody, the better off we gonna be. Just like we don't have to explain to you non-blacks why we call each other the N-word. And we don't want y'all to say it. We don't owe y'all no explanation. We don't have to explain nothing to y'all. Just like y'all feel like y'all don't have to explain nothing to y'all pertaining to y'all ancestry, to y'all culture. We don't have to explain that. See, when you start going on these outlets, and this is why I keep telling people, stop talking to people like Adam 22. Stop talking to people like DJ Blad. Stop talking to these culture vultures. Stop talking to that other dude. Stop talking to that anchor baby DJ Academics. Stop having a slave mentality. Stop looking at everybody that ain't black as boss. Because it's amazing how you feel like you ain't got to explain yourself to other black people, but you always got to offer an Asian an explanation or any other non-black an explanation. You don't. We don't have to explain nothing to them. And that's just real talk. That's good. The thing is with black people, we too timid. It's amazing how black people is quick to it's amazing how black people is quick to want to check other black people. But when it comes to these non-blacks, all of a sudden it's hesitation. And like I said before, we done let people that don't look like us get too comfortable with thinking they can speak on subjects pertaining to our community. What part they don't understand? What part you don't understand? You're not one of us. And another thing, we don't owe y'all no damn explanation. We don't have to explain a damn thing to y'all. We really don't. But then again, the reason why most black men have that mentality where they feel like they have to explain everything. This is what happens when you raised in a single home with a single black mother. This is why I keep trying to tell you, brothers, be part of your children's life. Even if you got a difficult baby mama, find a way to talk to your children. Because I'm going to just keep it a buck. I don't want to get too personal, but when my mother, you know what I'm saying, my mother wasn't speaking to my dad and my mother, you know what I'm saying, I'll just put it to you this way. Me and my sisters, we snuck and talked to our father. Our father was out of our lives for, you know, a few years, but at the end of the day, he popped back up before he passed away, and we were sneaking talking to him, and we needed to. The best thing that happened to me is when my father came back into my life and until he passed away. One thing about my son, I was always in my son's life. That's why my son is living on his own. My son got his own apartment in Minneapolis. He trying to make it. He's trying to figure out adulthood, but my son has got his own place, got his own car. My son, I kept my son out the system. I made sure my son wasn't raised in Oakland. I didn't want him raised in Oakland because I didn't want him to experience the stuff that I went through. So like I said, I'm the results. My son is he could be doing better, but at the end of the day, he doing, you know what I'm saying? He getting by. He learning. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, we just got to start telling the truth. I'm not finna sugarcoat this no more. As far as, you know what I'm saying, and this is one of the reasons, like, sometimes I'll be like bothered by some of the stuff I'll be hearing women say, and they particularly Clarissa Shields, because she's perpetuating that stereotype. And I'm gonna just tell you right now, it's gonna be some black women that's gonna listen to this video and they ain't gonna like what I have to say. You failed. You can't lead our communities. You failed miserably. And if you say, well, prove it, look around. I got one word for you in particularly, Chicago. Every time I look around, I'm seeing some video on YouTube about dudes jumping out of cars, blasting each other and all that kind of stuff. Lil Wayne's mama, oh my goodness. Now, we know that Lil Wayne was raised by his mother and she had an issue with substance abuse and everything. Lil Wayne's mother told him at age 14 she wanted a grandchild. Is you kidding me? And Lil Wayne said that out of his own mouth. See, nobody wants to talk about the cause and effect that women cause and have done to the black community because they too busy trying to point the finger always at black men. They don't want to take accountability for nothing. But I'm here to tell some of y'all black women, whether you like it or not, I'm not putting on the cape and I'm not sugarcoating it. You getting cereal without the sugar. You getting the cornflakes you getting the cornflakes with the water. I'm making it rough. Y'all have played a very pivotal role in damaging the black community. Okay, so stop it. Yeah, you love it when we point the finger at black men, but when we call y'all out, y'all disappear. You want to get mad, but then you'll say we emotional. Yeah, there you have it. Boom. Boom. So I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it a buck. I just had to say this about Clarissa Shields. Like I said, I like the sister, but she need to stop doing that. And she need to understand the damage that she's doing in the division that she's causing. I understand what she was trying to say, but at the end of the day, that's false. That is inaccurate about women running boxing. That ain't even remotely true. I'm talking about it's not even debatable. But like I said, I've been speaking highly of Clarissa Shields. When she first came out of the Olympics, I said she had what it takes to be a universal figure. But the way she going about doing it, this feminist stuff and constantly sneak dissing black men, like I said, who've been her biggest supporters, I'm not feeling that. And I'm sorry, I'm going to speak out against it. Once again, Clarissa, if you hear this video, you are more than welcome to come on here. You are more than welcome. But I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm not calling you out your name. I would never call you out your name. I'm not calling, you know what I'm saying? I respect you, but I don't respect what you're doing. I don't respect how you going about building your stature. There's other ways to do it. You don't have to keep trying to elevate and build your stature up by like tearing down men and tearing down the brothers. And sneak dissing the brothers. And don't try to play that stuff about men is emotional and all that kind of stuff. That do not work on me. I'm just keeping it a buck. That don't work on me. You can't make me feel guilty about voicing my opinion. That's another thing. Stop falling for that. Stop taking the bait. Stop falling for the hook, line, and sinker about if black men respond to something or respond to anybody, we weak and all that stuff, because that was just, they only come with those terminologies for us. That was just a way to make us feel guilty about speaking our mind and just sit up there. It's a form of mental abuse and psychological warfare through the mind by saying, oh, by you responding, you showing weakness. Oh, victimization, victimhood. But then you have, so what do you call all them people that got mad about what Kyrie Irving just tweeted about? It's just saying, man. Just say it. Just say it, man. I'm just keeping it a buck. But don't cancel me. Don't cancel me. Like I said, I love watching. I love women boxing. I love females boxing. I love covering the sport. But let's just face the fact. Okay. Let's just keep it a buck. In all likelihood, let's just say you lined up 10 of the most mediocre boxers in every weight class. I'm talking about from strawweight to cruiserweight. Or let's just forget 10, or let's just say you lined up every female boxer, the best female boxers from every weight class versus the most, I'll say, mediocre boxer from every weight class, from strawweight all the way up to cruiserweight. And let's just say you had a gauntlet. I pretty much would bet everything I own, for the most part, the men would come out on top. I don't think not one woman would score a knockout. And I think for the most part, the men would outbox the women, or you would see most of the women get knocked out. I'm just keeping it a buck. See, nobody don't want to talk about facts. Nobody like I said, I know probably somebody gonna see this. They gonna call me a misogynist, which is completely false. It's funny how women love to play the gender card when it comes to them, when they're trying to push a narrative, but then when a man counters, he's considered a misogynist. Once again, psychological warfare. So just keeping it a buck. But anyway, appreciate you guys listening. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.